The envelope sat on the kitchen counter, neat and deliberate, the kind of thing you notice even when you're not supposed to. My name wasn't written on it, but I knew it was meant for me. Inside, folded with precision, was a list. 10 bullet points. At the top, in her careful handwriting, marriage improvement plan. I read it once, then twice. Each line was a quiet accusation disguised as suggestion. Spend more time talking. Be more spontaneous. Show more affection. Take me on dates again. By the 10th item, my hands were trembling. It wasn't the requests themselves, it was the tone. They read less like hopes and more like demands. Like a teacher grading a failing student. At the bottom, in the space where she must have expected my responses, I wrote one word in bold black ink: divorce. That was the moment the air in our house changed. When she came home later, I was still sitting at the table, the list between us like a loaded gun. Her keys clinked onto the counter. She smiled, tired but hopeful, as if tonight was the night things would turn around. "Did you see it?" she asked, her voice soft. "I saw it," I said, staring at her, searching for something in her face. She walked closer, nervous but eager. "I just thought, maybe if we both tried we could." Divorce. The word cut her off flat and final. Her expression faltered. She looked at the paper, then back at me, her lips parting, but no words came out. For a second, I almost felt cruel. But beneath the shock on her face, I thought I saw something else: relief. And that chilled me more than anything. The cracks had been there for months, maybe years, but I had been too blind, or too trusting, to see them. Her late nights at work. The way her phone always stayed face down. How she laughed a little too brightly when messages came in. I told myself not to overthink it. That every marriage goes through dry seasons. That if I worked harder, loved her better, she'd come back to me fully. But now, watching her fold her arms tightly across her chest, I realized she had already left. The list wasn't a plea. It was a test. And I had just failed in the only way she wanted me to. "Why divorce?" she whispered, her eyes glistening. "Because I'm not stupid," I said. My voice shook, but not from doubt. Because I've been pretending not to see what's right in front of me. The silence was unbearable. She didn't deny it. She didn't confess either. She just stood there, chewing her lip, her body shifting like a trapped animal looking for an escape. Finally, she spoke. It wasn't supposed to happen. The words gutted me. My voice cracked raw. Her silence was an answer in itself. I stood, the chair screeching against the tile, my chest heaving like I'd run miles. "You made a list for me, but what about yours, huh? Where's the one where you write down, 'Stop lying. Stop sneaking around. Stop breaking the person who trusted you most'?" Tears spilled down her cheeks, but I couldn't tell if they were for me, or for the man she hadn't named. I walked out that night, into the cold September air, the world spinning. The quiet of the street mocked me. Somewhere, a dog barked. A TV flickered through a neighbor's window. Life went on like nothing had shattered. But inside me, everything was rubble. I thought of the early days. Her laugh in that little coffee shop. Her hands slipping into mine on long drives. The vows we spoke with shaky voices and hopeful hearts. Was all of it a lie? Or did she bury the truth somewhere along the way? Part of me wanted to run back inside, to demand names, details, confessions. Another part of me didn't need them. Betrayal didn't require proof once you felt it in your bones. The next morning, she was gone before I woke. No note, no explanations. Just silence. I found her list still on the counter, my words slashed across the bottom like a scar. For a long time, I stared at it, my chest heavy with questions that would never be answered. Why didn't she fight harder for us? Why did she let someone else take my place? Did she ever love me? Or was I just a chapter she was waiting to close? But the hardest question, the one that cut the deepest, was this. If she had asked me before it all slipped away, would I have changed? And the truth, the brutal, searing truth, was yes. I would have. But now, the chance was gone. Days turned into weeks. Friends asked where she was, and I told them she needed space. At night, I lay awake replaying everything, looking for the moment I lost her. The smell of her shampoo lingered in the sheets, mocking me. One evening, my phone buzzed. A message from her. "I'm sorry. It wasn't just one mistake. It was more than I can admit. Please don't hate me. I stared at the words until the screen dimmed. My hands shook, but not with anger anymore, with the hollow weight of knowing she was already gone long before the first betrayal. I never replied. Not because I hated her, but because I didn't trust myself not to beg for what was already lost. Instead, I folded the list, tucked it into a drawer, and walked away from the house we built together. The walls felt haunted, not by ghosts, but by echoes of promises broken. And as the door closed behind me, I realized the cruelest part of betrayal isn't losing the person you love. It's losing the version of yourself that believed they loved you back.